Surprise! I have beaten this like a redheaded stepchild, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But I'm going to talk about how we're going to cut another 1% by spring. Because it's all about oil. And on top of that, the world is going to be facing a massive disaster, in addition to all the other disasters that we know about. First up, no surprise, we cut down to 3.25%, which is the top of the neutral rate according to the Bank of Canada. But we're going to get to the bottom of the neutral rate, which is 1% lower than this by spring. But AJ, the US just reported that their inflation went up. They're not going to cut rates. Oh, really? Yeah, they're cutting rates. Because it's all about oil. I keep saying that. It's all about oil. Now, there's a show, Landman, on Paramount Plus. Now, obviously, it's just a TV show. It's all fiction. But with any show, you're going to do some research to make it believable. And there's tidbits of truth throughout the show. Like this quote from Jon Hamm's character, Monty Miller, "I care that the price of oil stays between $76 and $88 a barrel." And it's not at $76 a barrel. This is West Texas Intermediate. The ticker is CL equals F. It's the futures of crude oil. Think I'm full of shit? Here's a little quinky dink. Over here, when rate hikes began, that's when it was clear that oil was going to be above $88 a barrel. When did rate cuts begin? Over here in the summertime, when it was clear that crude oil was going to be below $76 a barrel. Economically, raising the rates was terrible. Economically, we should have stopped raising the rates at 4% minimum, and we should have started cutting the rates last summer. But as long as oil is between $76 and $88 a barrel, everything is fine. It ain't fine now. Oh man, our loony's gonna go to 60 cents! Oh really? Interesting. It's from today. Yesterday I showed you every time we cut the rates to like rock bottom, the loonie recovered. Because it's all about oil. And slashing rates will help to drive the price of oil up. And if the price of oil goes up, the value of the Canadian dollar is going to go up. Oil needs to get back to $76 a barrel. Now, I've talked at length about the tariffs and all the other stuff that's coming our way, all the other economic headwinds that we're facing. But wait, there's more. Because Stellantis is in the shit. Let me connect some dots for you. This is Carlos Ghosn. He was CEO of Renault Nissan. There's a documentary about his escape from Japan. It's fascinating. I'm not too sure where it is. I think it's Apple Plus, but look it up. Anyway, as CEO of Renault and Nissan, he began a policy of cost cutting, which meant making the cars shit. Now, he's no longer the CEO, but his policies still have an effect. Renault is having some problems right now. Nissan might not make it to the end of next year. They're in big trouble. And his second in command is this guy, Carlos Tavares, who became CEO of Stellantis and decided to use the same cost-cutting policies across the Stellantis brands. And now Stellantis is fucked. Look, here's the basics. They made the cars worse and they charged more money for them. So, shockingly, especially in this high interest rate environment, no one wants to buy their cars. Stellantis also may not make it to the end of 2025. It's bad. They have a new CEO, but they can't unmake the shit cars that they've put out on the street. They're going to have a shit reputation for years to come. Decades even. Remember the 70s and the 80s when cars were super shit? Yeah, those reputations are still around. What do you think is going to happen to oil if Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Peugeot, and Citroën go out of business? Oh, and Nissan. Do you think the price of oil will go up or down when all those car companies go out of business? See, this could have been avoided if they started cutting a year ago. But no one cares as long as oil is between $76 and $88 a barrel. Mark my words, as long as West Texas Intermediate stays below $76 a barrel, they will be cutting rates.